So today I'm counting down the 8 vegetables I would plant first if I only had a very small amount of gardening space. And my number one choice might not be the one that you're expecting. So let's go. Hey everyone, it's Angela Allen. Welcome back to the Handmade Homestead and Garden. If someone told me tomorrow that I could only keep one small raised bed, or maybe just a few containers on my patio, I can tell you right now that I would not panic. I'd simply become a lot more selective about what I grow. After years of gardening, I've learned that some vegetables give you far more food than others for the space that they take up. Now, one of the nicest things about gardening is that you don't need a large backyard to grow a surprisingly large amount of food. Whether you're working with containers, grow bags, a small raised bed, a tiny backyard, or even just a sunny patio, it's amazing how productive a small space garden can become when you choose your crops carefully. For me, gardening has become less about growing everything and more about growing the things that truly earn their place. I want vegetables that keep producing, that make good use of every square foot, and that reward me with harvest after harvest. In return for all of that, small space gardens do ask more of us, but just a little more. Containers and raised beds tend to dry out faster than gardens planted directly in the ground, so consistent watering becomes much more important. They also benefit from regular feeding throughout the season because nutrients are often used up more quickly in the limited amount of soil, and some are actually leached out when you well water your containers, so you do have to replace some of that. But with a little extra attention, these smaller gardens can be incredibly productive. So if I only had a small garden, here's exactly what I'd grow. I'm going to start with one that earns its place simply because it doesn't ask you to wait very long. One of the things I've come to appreciate is how satisfying it is to harvest something quickly. In a small garden, that matters because once one crop finishes, that space is ready for something else. So radishes are definitely something on this list. They mature quickly. They fit comfortably into small spaces, and they are one of those vegetables that make a garden feel productive almost immediately. I don't expect one planting to feed my family all season, but planted every couple of weeks, they provide a steady harvest from a surprisingly small area. And they're small enough to be tucked in and around other plants in containers too. The biggest mistake I see is when people plant an entire packet of seeds all at once. Spread out your planting dates to ensure a fresh harvest over a much longer period instead. Now, number 7, well, this is probably the one vegetable that spends more time in my kitchen than almost any other. Green onions don't demand much room. They're happy growing in containers, and they seem to fit into spaces where almost nothing else will. They're one of those quiet, dependable vegetables that you find yourself harvesting again and again for everyday meals. One small planting can go a surprisingly long way. The mistake many beginners make is by giving them far more room than they actually need. They're much happier growing close together than people realize. They're actually very good at holding hands with their neighbors and growing super close together in any size container. And if the container you grow them in is mobile, well, when it starts to get cold outside, like cold enough to freeze, you just bring that container right inside to a sunny window, and they will continue to provide harvests for weeks, if not months longer. So let's get on to number 6. I think beets are one of the most overlooked vegetables for a small garden. What I really like is that you're not just growing one harvest, you're growing two. The roots are wonderful, of course, but the greens are just as useful in the kitchen. That makes every bit of gardening space work a little bit harder for you. One planting can easily provide several meals when you enjoy both parts of the plant. The one mistake I often see is people harvesting the roots while forgetting the greens altogether. And that, my friends, is giving up half of your harvest. You can succession plant them. They like cool weather, but they can provide food in warmer weather too, and they will keep producing until the frost kills them off. And the roots come a little sweeter with a little bit of frost, so don't be afraid of that. It will kill your greens, but you will still have the roots. As long as they're not frozen, you can still use them. Number 5 is lettuce. It's the one vegetable I almost always find room for. Fresh lettuce has a way of reminding you why you started gardening in the first place. Rather than producing one big harvest and being finished, many varieties continue to produce when harvested a little at a time. That means a small planting can keep fresh salads coming for weeks. The biggest mistake I see is harvesting the entire plant too early. Leave the center growing, and it will often reward you with harvest after harvest. You can pull off the outer leaves and let the center continue to produce more if you're looking for big leaves for salads or for wraps. But if you're looking for just quick greens, you can just do the cut and come again method. With this method, you just grow the seeds very closely together by broadcasting them in a shallow container and keeping them watered and moist enough to grow in a sunny location. As the greens get big enough, you just trim off the top with some scissors, leaving an inch or so above the soil intact, and they will continue to grow. If you start at one end of your bed or container and work your way down as you have salads over a few days to a week's period, by the time you're finished with the other end, the beginning will be ready to be cut again. And you can get several cuttings this way, weeks of lettuce, without having dirt and bugs and other pests, and without having to buy that bag salad that can be kind of slimy and brown the day after you bring it home from the grocery store. And if you're growing it at home, you know that it is clean, and there are fewer chances of getting something like a bacterial or parasitic infection from your own homegrown greens. And you can grow them on a windowsill or under grow lights in the house all winter long. And so with this, I just kind of bonus tip, I kind of just add in microgreens into this lettuce category because you grow them the very same way and they are ready to harvest within just a couple of days, and you can grow them again right in your house. You do not need to grow them outside, and they are super productive and really delicious, and another thing just to add to your salads. Now let's get on to number 4. This is one of those vegetables that reminds me every year why not everything loves summer heat. Spinach really shines when the weather begins to cool, making it a wonderful choice for smaller gardens later in the season. It doesn't need a tremendous amount of room, and when harvested carefully, one planting can continue producing for quite a long while. My biggest advice is not to wait too long before picking it. Young, tender leaves are delicious, and harvesting them encourages even more growth than the older, tougher leaves will. It's one of the most frequently purchased salad greens in the grocery store, and not only is it less expensive when you grow it yourself, you can have it whenever you want it. It's always fresh, and its vitamins are at their peak, and again, it is clean and healthy, and you get the satisfaction of knowing that what you've grown is going to be safe for your family. Number 3 comes with a personal admission. I have to confess that harvesting carrots never stops being fun. There's always that little bit of mystery because you don't really know what's beneath the soil until you pull them. Carrots use surprisingly little space above ground, making them an excellent choice for smaller gardeners with deeper containers. A relatively small planting can produce enough carrots for a small family. And newsflash, my friends, the greens are also edible. I use every single carrot top green that I can. I don't use the long stems, though you certainly could save them and throw them into soup pots when you're making bone broth or other kind of stews where you want to add some extra carrot flavor, but you'd probably want to fish those out before you served your meal. But I use the very top ferny, lacy leaves, and I use every single one of them. I almost covet them, and at the end of winter when I've run out, I cannot wait to get some carrots in the ground again for more of the greens. In fact, I think I would grow carrots even if they didn't produce a root, just to have the tops. Dehydrated, the tops make an excellent substitute for parsley. The flavor is very similar, as is the smell. And they stay bright green when dehydrated, so they're absolutely beautiful if you add some to soup, to top a cheese dish or a casserole or a quiche or anything where you want to add that higher class elegance and a little more drama. Before we get to my final 2, I just want to mention another gardening channel that I've been enjoying a lot lately. To take a look at the channel called The Welsh Farmhouse Garden. The content creator is a woman named Tracy. It's a fairly new creator. She could use the support and the love just to help her get rolling. And I think that if you like this channel, you will absolutely enjoy watching her content too. Number 2, here's what I'd say. If someone asked me which vegetable gives the longest return on a very small space investment, I would say that kale would be near the top of my list. One healthy plant can keep producing for a remarkably long time when harvested properly. Instead of taking the whole plant when you harvest, simply harvest a little at a time and it will just keep rewarding you. Reach down and snap off the lower leaves first by just snapping them down and work your way up the plant slowly. The stems are fully edible if you'd like to eat them. The other thing about kale is kale grown in the fall tends to have a whole different flavor profile. It's sweeter and crunchier and milder than the kale that you get in the summer heat. And I myself personally eat kale because it's healthy, not because it's my favorite flavor. So I really appreciate fall kale. The mistake I see most often is people harvest from the center instead of the outside leaves. Leave that growing point alone and you'll enjoy many more harvests. So number 1 has to be my favorite leafy green. If I truly had room for only one leafy vegetable, this would definitely be my choice. Swiss chard has earned its place in my garden year after year because it asks for very little while giving so much in return. It's beautiful, colorful, dependable, forgiving, and incredibly productive. One healthy plant can continue producing leaves for months when harvested a little bit at a time. And I don't know about you, but I never plant one plant of anything. The biggest mistake I see is simply people getting too enthusiastic and cutting too much of the plant at once. Remember to leave the center growing, and it'll continue to reward you long after many other vegetables have finished. There are plenty of other crops that grow really well in small containers that have a lot of abundance, Bush beans certainly can do that. You can put 8 or 10 or 12 bush bean plants in a square foot space. Cucumbers, though they do vine upwards, if you trellis them, can be very productive in a small space as well. And I'm sure there are tons more that you can think of, and you will absolutely have your preferences. But these are the ones that I think can be the easiest ones to grow in those situations and be the most abundant as far as harvesting food for your family. So those are the 8 vegetables that I would choose if I only had a small garden. Not because they're the only vegetables worth growing, but because they've consistently given me the biggest returns for the space they occupy. Now I'd love to hear from you. If you could only keep one raised bed or a few containers, which vegetables would definitely make your list? Share it down in the comments below. I always enjoy hearing what works well in gardens all across the country and all over the world. And don't forget to put your zone, if you know what that is, just to help other people know what they could maybe have the possibility of growing themselves. If you enjoyed spending a little time in the garden with me today, I definitely appreciate it if you would give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and share if you're new here. And before you go, you can click on the next video here that's on your screen. I think that will help you to get even more from your garden. Until next time, happy gardening. I'll see you soon, and take care.